Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me an opportunity. I stand actually strongly support this motion. Madam Speaker, it is true what is coming from honorable members of the House, that the planning and surveying of our land in the county is very important, and we have been underperforming as a county over so many years, Madam Speaker. And all what has been said here, the challenges that we have been hearing from members of our House is very true. Madam Speaker, Jillo County has been left behind without getting titles and value for their land. And the county has been experiencing a lot of rush over the speculation of land because of the mega infrastructure that is coming up within the county, the regional infrastructure, while the county itself is actually underdeveloped as far as the land surveying and planning is concerned. This is true that has brought a lot of problem, Madam Speaker, including security issues, conflicts, and which has disrupted the cohesion of the communities of Jillo. Madam Speaker, it is true that today the titles have been taken by the land barons at the ministry headquarters. I have been getting actually the complaints, Madam Speaker, which is even going outside the Jillo Central to the other part of the remote part of the county, Madam Speaker. And there is a kind of a deal link by the county with the National Land Commission and the Ministry of Lands, Madam Speaker, and I think this is because of the influence of external forces which are up to grab land, including where people have even put a permanent structure. Madam Speaker, it is true what Honorable has been, members of our county assemblies on the floor has been giving specific cases. But Madam Speaker, this is a disaster because I was told by the Department of Physical Planning at the Ministry headquarters, when I had a chance to interact with them at the beginning of our session of this assembly. Madam Speaker, when I complained that land has been given out to titles by people who are living, outside the county, and I gave an example of a very senior citizen and a civil servant who retired, unfortunately now sick, bedridden in his house, Wario Sala. The old man Wario Sala was actually evicted from his house through a court order, and is living in a permanent building which he has invested all his life that he has been serving as a civil servant. He told me that's only the case. I was told by the Deputy Director of Physical Planning.
Also, Chair, sorry to cut you short, in as much as you also debate on the motion, as the Chair of the said committee, kindly also give us the way forward and
yes, I will
solution to these problems.
Shortly, yeah. I will. And he confirmed to me that 90% of Tuluroba land has been taken away. So this shows how much a disaster it is actually, Madam Speaker. And the biggest challenge is about a funding. for the Office of the Lands, the CEC lands, to be effectively undertaken now, and as a matter of emergency, undertake the survey and planning and be able to address the conflict which is already existing. Madam Speaker, we need actually 3 million shillings per ward immediately. Where there is an adjudication by the National Land Commission, the county is also supposed to facilitate some percentage in the areas of Kinna, in the areas of Garbatula. That money is not there. Right now, even that exercise has stalled. So bottom line, as much as we are addressing this as a security reason, we are addressing this as an emergency for health purposes. Madam Speaker, people today cannot take their dead for burial because there is no passage. All this is true, Madam Speaker. This gives a degree, a highest degree possible, that this House to consider this money as an emergency, Madam Speaker, to be able to address this and come up also with the data of how many people have been affected in the respective wards, so that a solution can be found, Madam Speaker. All what we have been saying here, including the marking of road, which road which has not been surveyed, actually we name, the drainage system, all this is true. Madam Speaker, we need money, and this money has to be allocated immediately. We have to rearrange during the supplementary budget, Madam Speaker, and we form a task force, Madam Speaker. I request the House to put this across to the, from the House, to be able to monitor and see that this problem is addressed adequately. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And all what you need is money. I've even consulted the CEC. I have visited the office severally, put this before the executive. They say that it is underfunding, that they require 3 million shillings per ward to urgently address this issue, Madam Speaker. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker, for giving me, and I'm very hopeful that this motion, Madam Speaker, will actually be able to help the executive to be able to work immediately and address this problem. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Chair. Before now, I gave the mover